Hi guys, welcome to tutorial Raise, and in this video I'm going to discuss about what is the difference between compiled and interpreted language. This is one of the most confusing question which is asked by the developers who wants to learn a programming language. So programming language can be broadly categorized in two parts. The first one is compiled language and another one is interpreted language. So in this video we will know more about these two these two types of languages. In compiled languages, two steps procedure are followed. First one, human readable code is first compiled by the compiler software. The compiler software generates machine readable bytecode. That means any programming languages which follows these two steps, we can say that okay, so that programming language is actually a compiler language. In compiled language there are two steps which is followed. First, you have to compile the source code, human readable source code, whatever code you write, human writes, that code is first translated into, that code is first compiled into bytecode, and then bytecode is understood and executed by the machine. I will show you with example also. C, C++, Java are few popular programming languages which are compiled language. So here is just a simple example which I will show you, that this is the source code of Java, okay, which I've already mentioned that okay, so Java is a compiled language. So I will show you practically so that you will understand it better. So this is the example where we have declared a class called class test, then public static void main. This is the syntax of Java, okay, system dot out println hello world. So in case you don't understand this syntax, don't worry, this is just example to show you that how a compiled language works. Now this source code we will first compile. Alright, so this is the source code I have just written in this Sublime Text. So class test, public static void main, has, and the system out println this. We are going to print this hello world, okay. Now just save it with the class name. So I have saved it as test.java, and I've kept in this folder, in Java folder created in F drive, Java folder. Here in the beginning you can see this is only test.java file, okay. So now let's open command prompt. Just will write cmd command prompt and then F drive here, then cd java, then java c test.java. So this is actually we are going to compile a source file. Which file? This source file we are going to compile, okay. This is called human readable source code. Now this source code we are going to compile here. So the syntax is for compiling java c test.java. Now press enter. And Java compiler successfully compiled it. Now we will go to the folder and check here. You can see an additional file called test.class is generated now, okay. This is our source file and this one is our newly generated class file, which is called also a bytecode. So now we will see that how this bytecode looks like. If you open into any text editor, you can see this is not a human readable at all. This is understood by machine, so this is a machine readable code. After this we will execute the code. So how we will do that? Here I will write Java, then test, only test here, test.java. This time we are not going to, one second. So we will execute it Java, then test.java. Oh, simply we will write here test, no required Java, because that is actually extensively not Java, it's class. Okay, so simply we will write here Java test. So this is actually now read by the machine. This is machine readable code. Now this bytecode is faster because this time it is not going to compile. Already it is compiled, so every time the code will run this one. This code will run. Yes, if I will make any changes in source file, for example hello world rather than hello world, now if I will change it to, then in that case what I have to do, once again I have to compile it. Java C, I have to compile once again and then run it again. Now the output will be hello world. But if I don't make any changes into the source file, then every time this file will run. So this one is faster. So that is the concept of compiled language. First the source code is written here, and then the source code is compiled first. The source code is first compiled, and then a new file is generated which is machine readable, not the human readable. This file is machine readable, and now the code is executed, run the class file which is machine readable, which is much faster because the code is already checked. Okay, now so that's it. Okay, so we will see what is the pros and cons of this language. The pros is maximum errors and bugs are eliminated in compile time. And the second one is because if there is any error or mistakes or bugs, then it shows while compiling the source code. So there is maximum chances of eliminating the bugs in compile time. The second one is bytecode execution is very fast because the machine doesn't have to check the source code every time. Only the compiled bytecode will be executed, so it's really very fast. And its cons is, the drawback is there is a burden of two-step execution. Every time you have to compile, every time you make any changes into the source file, you have to compile. So that is an extra activity, that's an extra work, so that is its con. But overall it's good because the main thing is it's faster. Now that we have seen what is compiled language with practical example, now we will see what is interpreted language. So the language in which source file is directly executed by the interpreter and not compiled is called interpreted language. In this kind of programming languages, two steps are not followed. Whatever source file you write, same source file is read line to line, executed line to line by the interpreter, and its output shown to the user. So let's see the example. JavaScript, PHP, Python, etc. are some of the very popular programming languages which are not compiled language but interpreted language. Let's see this very simple JavaScript example where I have written the same output which we have seen in Java. Remember, JavaScript and Java is totally different. JavaScript is a compiled language which I've just shown you example. That is why I am giving here comparison between Java and JavaScript so that you can understand the main difference between Java and JavaScript, because normally the learner get confused by Java and JavaScript. So here, this is the example. Now we have already seen, previously we have already seen Java, and this time we are going to see we are going to discuss about JavaScript. So this is the source file where script. So in case you are not understanding at this time, you don't worry, but at least you know that okay, so this is JavaScript code. Now the same code we will run into the text editor. So this is the source file. This is the source file, this one. Here is document.write, which will show the output. Okay, so here I have saved this file in the same directory, hello.html. now we will run this code. To run this code, you don't have to go any extra, you don't have to use any extra software like before. For in case of Java, we had to open text, we have to open cmd command prompt, and from there we run the command. In this case, you don't have to go to anywhere. Simply you double click on this and the browser will open, and here you can see the output. So you can see here the source file is same and the output execution file is same. There is no any extra file. Here you can see this is same file. There is no two files like Java. So this is the example of compiler language, and this one is interpreter language. This now you might be wondering, so where is actually the software which execute? For example, if I make any mistake, then it will not run. It won't show you anything here. Here you can see it's not showing. So the question is, which is the software which is checking it actually? Now let's see here. If you press Ctrl Shift I and here go to console, it will show you that okay, so in line number 2 there is some mistake. Here it is saying that this bracket is missing. That means there is any software which is checking it, and that software is called interpreter. In case of Chrome browser, there is a software called V8 engine. V8 engine is written in C++. This V8 engine which is inside Chrome browser. Okay, so again V8 engine global high performance JavaScript WebAssembly engine. Okay, so with this V8 engine, JavaScript code is executed in Chrome browser, and in other browsers also similar software is also there. You can see this, it is saying that it can run standalone or can be embedded into any C++ application. So that's it. I hope that you understand what is difference between interpreted and compiled language. So the summary is that in compiled language, two steps are followed. First, it is compiled and the bytecode is generated, and after generating the bytecode, that bytecode repeatedly gets executed. In case of interpreted language, the source file and the execution file is same. So its pros is that you don't have to compile every time. Whenever you make any changes, you don't have to worry about the compiling. Directly it gets executed, but its drawback is that its speed is less as compared to that, because every time line by line code is checked and every time line by line it is executed. So hope you understand the video, and so that's it in this video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.